Our guest today is Victor Dedaj, certified naturopathic practitioner, certified holistic health coach, transformational trainer, motivational speaker, and author. He's the author of How to Be Happy, Healthy, and Whole, and You Can Become Successful, and has also co-authored Success Breakthroughs with Jack Canfield and contributed to several other books on success and personal development. Victor, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Dominic. It's great to be here.
All right, Victor. So, yeah, we mostly talk about the book aspects of uh, our guests. So, what inspired you to write How to Be Happy, Healthy, and Whole? And what does being whole actually mean to you?
Well, I wrote it because primarily I just see that a lot of people struggling with their health. They have a lot of health issues, a lot of chronic illnesses. And I think a lot of people don't know what they need to do to become healthier. They've been given a lot of bad health information over the decades, and by applying those that wrong information, it has hurt their health. So I wanted them to get the information so that if they apply the things I teach them in the book, how to be happy, healthy, and whole, they can have a better, healthy lifestyle. Now, being happy helps your health. Because this thing, if you're happy, relaxed, you're laughing a lot, your health will do better. If you're stressed out, you're worrying all the time, you're angry all the time, it's going to negatively affect your immune system. It's going to negatively affect your health, makes you more prone to diseases and infections. It could raise your blood pressure. So when you have all those things going together, everything will work out and you'll be more whole. See, I'm a holistic health coach, and we have the letter W before holistic because we look at the whole person. I just don't look at one part of the body like some doctors may look at the kidney or the heart or the stomach. I look at the person as a whole. And that includes not just the physical, like the psychological, emotional, spiritual. All those things work together. When all those things are aligned and working well, you're going to be more whole and everything will be working well together because it's an entire system of interconnected things, and that's a mistake allopathic doctors make. They just look at one part of the body and ignore everything else about the person. So I think if you do that, you get everything working together, you'll be whole.
All right, thank you so much, Victor. So, moving on, you work at the intersection of health and personal development. How are our physical health, mindset, and emotional well-being connected?
Well, again, as I mentioned, if you're stressed out a lot, you're worrying a lot, it can negatively affect your health, leaves you more prone to a lot of different diseases. If you relax, you're happier, you're laughing a lot, it's going to positively affect your health and your immune system. Your immune system will work much better. So it's important to have a good mindset, good frame of mind. I definitely recommend laughing a lot, watching a lot of comedy shows, comedy movies. Because here's the thing: when children laugh on the average of 300 to 400 times a day, adults maybe laugh 15 to 20 times a day. So it seems when we grow up, we lose that ability to laughter, and that affects our immune system negatively. So we laugh more, you're going to do better. So, and if you're happy, relaxed, you're praying a lot, you have gratitude, you have a good social network. All those things can positively affect your health. Conversely, if you don't have those things, it can negatively work to affect your immune system, especially if you're worrying a lot, you're stressed out, which a lot of people are these days. So that's something you have to keep in mind. They both affect one another.
All right. So tell us the most common health myths you encounter that you believe are preventing people from becoming healthier.
Yeah, there are a number of them. First one is for many decades, we were told to follow what's called the low fat, high carb diet, which is also really a high seed oil diet. And that's wreaked havoc on the health of millions and millions of people across the globe. uh, because it's high carbs are really bad for your health. Also, high cirrhosis led to increases in obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, and other illnesses. Because people were told it was healthy to follow, and nothing could be further from the truth. So I would definitely recommend not doing that kind of diet. Eat a diet with plenty of protein, good fats, limit the carbs, and definitely limit the seed oils, and that's going to help you. Another myth people were told were to avoid eggs because eggs have high cholesterol, so people thought it would adversely affect their health. Number one, the cholesterol in food actually has a minimal effect on the blood cholesterol levels. And actually, cholesterol is actually an extremely important nutrient. A big chunk of your brain is made of cholesterol. You need cholesterol to make the bile in the gallbladder. You need it to make vitamin D. You need it for your cells. And there'd be no human race without cholesterol because you need it to make the hormones estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So it's an extremely important nutrient. In fact, it's so important that your liver makes 80% of the cholesterol in your body every single day. So I would just say eat eggs. Eggs have been eaten for many centuries. They're one of the most nutritious foods. You can eat lots of nutrients in it. So go enjoy your eggs. People were told to limit this thing. Whenever they have acid reflux issues, they say, oh, limit the stomach acid. They're giving these acid blockers, which is really bad for your health because you need stomach acid. It's extremely important for your health. Stomach acid is required to help you digest nutrients. It's important to prevent pathogens like harmful bacteria and viruses. So if you have less stomach acid, you're going to be more prone to getting these pathogens coming into your body, and you won't be able to digest the nutrients as well. The reason you get these acid reflux and heartburn issues, it tends to happen in your later age, and actually because you have less stomach acid. You actually need more stomach acid. What happens is these sphincter muscles open up, and it lets the acid come back up. If you ever notice, people usually do not have acid reflux when they're 15 or 20 years old. When you have a lot more stomach acid, it usually happens in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. When you have less stomach acid, your body starts making stomach acid usually in your mid to late 30s and makes less and less. Now, if you actually take more acid, for example, apple cider vinegar capsules or betaine hydrochloride, you will see your acid indigestion generally tends to go away most of the time. So do not take acid blockers. You need more stomach acid. It's important for your health. We're also told to avoid salt because it can raise your blood pressure. It's actually not true. It has a minimal effect on blood pressure, and it's actually extremely important for your health. People who are deficient in sodium and salt tend to live less, and that's borne out by the fact that the countries with the highest salt intake, like Japan, South Korea, and France, the longevity rates are higher than the countries where they have lower salt intake. So salt's actually very important. And one final myth I'll share is people have been told modern wheat is healthy for you. It is not. It'll give you a little extra fiber, but it won't do much else for you. The gluten in it is very inflammatory. Other parts of the modern wheat is inflammatory, so there's inflammatory issues. It led to rises in irritable bowel
Hi,
syndrome,
Victor. Sorry,
celiac
I didn't get what you
disease.
said last.
It has issues on your brain, issues in your stomach. It's been linked to diabetes and weight gain. And wheat actually has a higher glycemic index than regular table sugar. So when you're eating wheat bread, for example, you're basically eating something similar to sugar. You're just getting a little extra fiber. But outside of that, you're not really getting any health benefits, and your health is being harmed. So those are some of the health myths people have been told that they've bought into that's harmed their health over the last number of decades.
Okay, so what originally led you away from conventional approaches towards naturopathic and holistic health?
Well, about 20 years ago, I started reading up on this, and I realized much of what we were told was dead wrong. We were not told about the dangers of eating highly ultra processed food, junk food, which definitely is harmful to our health. We're not being told that the vast majority of people in the world are nutrient deficient because the soils are really deficient in nutrients. It's gotten so bad over 100 years. In 1900, you probably could have been able to get all your nutrients that you needed from a good diet. That is impossible right now. In the United States, where I live, they've known that since 1936. The U.S. Senate report stated that the soils were deficient in nutrients, deficient in minerals, and it's only gotten much worse. So, and then I started reading that a lot of times when you're sick, the doctor just gives you medications, and very often these medications have bad side effects. They don't address the root causes, they just mask the symptoms. And I found out later they also drain you of very important nutrients, for example, like CoQ10 and magnesium, that are important for your health. So I realized doing it this way does not really help. When you do it more natural, you give the body the nutrients it needs, the food it needs. Your body usually has an incredible ability to heal itself and to recover. And for my work, I could definitely, for my work with with people, with patients, I definitely found that out to be the truth. When I guide them on the nutrients that they need, their health starts improving, their aches start going away. They get a lot more energy. They feel better about themselves. And here's the thing. I've never met a person who said, I'm on 10 medications a day and I feel great. It doesn't happen.
Okay, so let's talk about your other book. The other book is You Can Become Successful. What is one principle from that book that can immediately change the way someone approaches their life?
Well, one of the things I learned from Jack Canfield, and I mentioned in that book, is the need to take 100% responsibility for your life. Successful people take full responsibility, because when you take full responsibility for your life, you tend to become solution oriented. You tend to focus on how you can fix the problem. When you don't take full responsibility, what you tend to do is you think outside force, outside people are responsible for everything that happens to you, and then there's nothing you can do to change your life. So you usually don't take action on things. So there's an equation I learned from Jack Canfield: E plus R equals O. So E is the event that happens to you. R is the response to the event. So the O is the outcome. So the outcome is determined not just by the event that happens to you, by your response to it. So you may have no control over the event that happens, but you do have control over your responses. So two kids may grow up in a really poor neighborhood that has lots of crime, drug dealers, and one kid decides, oh, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just gonna, sell drugs, join a gang and commit crimes. The other kid decides, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna study, go to college, and maybe become a lawyer, doctor, businessman, whatever. So each those two kids have the same event. They chose different responses, and because of the different responses they have different outcomes in your life. So realize your power lies in that response, not just the event.
Okay, thank you so much, Victor. So, if someone listening right now knows that they need to change their health but feels completely overwhelmed, what is the first step you would recommend?
First thing I would recommend is change the kind of food you eat. Real food. Don't eat the ultra processed junk food, because for every 10% increase in ultra processed food that you eat, your rate of cancer risk goes up, I think, like 13%. So it's no more start off with eating healthy food. But I can't get you just one thing. That's the first thing. Number one, you got to supplement. You cannot get everything you need, even from a good diet. It's impossible. So you got to supplement, got to exercise, get enough sleep. I was telling you before, rest, relax. You definitely need to lower the stress, and maybe spend some time in nature. Get plenty of sun. You do those things, everything with your health will get better. But yeah, first definitely eat better food and then supplement. Those would be the first two things I recommend.
Okay, so after everything you have learned about health, success, and personal transformation, what do you believe people most need to understand about taking control of their lives?
Well, it's that first principle of success I learned from
You're on
Jack.
mute.
You need to take 100% responsibility for your life, and that applies to health too. You need to take full control of your health. Take that control. Don't put it in the hands of other people, especially those that make money when you get sick. You got to be your number one advocate for your health and take full control of your health and take 100% responsibility for your life. When you do that, your life will change because you're going to become solution oriented. You will take the actions necessary to make things better. If you don't do it, you won't take those actions.
This is one lesson or one secret in your book that you wish every reader will take away when they read your book. You're
Yeah, the body has an incredible ability to heal itself. So you got to give it the things that it needs. So your focus, you got to treat your body like you treat a good stock. You will invest in a good stock, invest in your body as well. Buy the best proper food. Maybe it's a little bit more expensive. Your body's worth it. You need to buy supplements. You need to buy good quality supplements. Spend the money on yourself. You'll spend money on a good car because you think you want it to last longer. You got to do the same thing for your body, for your health as well. Be willing to spend a lot of extra money because your health is worth it. And I think some people don't understand that. They just think eating any kind of food, it doesn't really make a difference. It makes a huge difference. So, spend that money on yourself. You are worth it.
Okay. So, finally, Victor, this has been a fascinating conversation so far, and most of my audience they might be wondering how they can get your book. So, for those who would like to get your book, how can they do that?
Yeah, my book, How to Be Happy, Healthy, and Whole, you can find it on Amazon. It's on Kindle, so it should be available in most countries in the world on Kindle. It's 99 cents.
Wonderful, and I think that's quite not very pricey, and anyone should be able to get that. So, you all go out there, make sure to show Victor some love. Not just showing Victor some love, I'm sure you need this book as well. Try and get it and see how you can take your health seriously. So, Victor, thank you so much for coming. This has been a wonderful episode.
Oh, my pleasure, Dominic. It's great to be on, and thanks for having me on the show today.
All right. So, if this episode is speaking to you, I'm sure it's speaking to all of us because we need to take our health seriously. Try and share it to someone out there who might need to hear this. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys. Thank you, Victor.